Hello everybody, this is SeetherCord here, and welcome to a new video for you guys today. For today's video, we are going to be discussing some gaming news and everything, and actually we're going to be talking about something that I'm a little bit late to the party on by about 2.5, 3 weeks. Oh my gosh, SeetherCord is late to the party on discussing something? What a shocker. But yes, guys, we're going to be talking about the whole controversy that a lot of Nintendo fans and gamers in general are having towards Nintendo over their newly released Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. So with that all being said and out of the way, let's get into it. So before we get into exactly why there's the whole controversy of the expansion pack, let's first discuss the service as a whole, Nintendo Switch Online, and what exactly it is. So for people that don't own a Nintendo Switch or don't have their online service, essentially Nintendo Switch Online is a service that provides its users with access to playing games online like Super Smash Bros., Super Mario Party, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, etc. It also has provided an access of libraries to emulated games of NES, Super Nintendo that you can play through their online service, specifically with save states, and you can rewind the game or cheats and such. It's really cool. And just recently, they added in with this new expansion pack the online multiplayer, which works really well for NES and SNES, but there is a catch. We'll get to that in just 1 second. Now, the service as a whole, on its usual individual membership on just without the expansion pack, is $3.99 a month, $7.99 for 3 months, and $19.99 for 12 months. However, there's also the family membership, which has access to over 8 users that can interconnectedly use like the same membership through an account base that's being paid individually by one entity. And their 12-month service is offered for $34.99 a month. However, with this new expansion pack, the prices are a little bit different. And let me actually explain exactly what's offered on this expansion pack that makes it different from just regular Switch users that have, the regular version of Nintendo Switch Online. Now, the difference here that the expansion pack has, which makes it a little bit more expensive, is they have a few things. For starters, they have access to online emulated versions of a few N64 games, Sega Genesis games, and they also provide an Animal Crossing New Horizons DLC pack. And this expansion pack on an individual membership goes for 12 months for $49.99, and for the family membership for 12 months goes for $79.99. So the difference with this expansion pack on an individual basis is an extra $30, and for the family basis is an additional $40. You guys might be wondering, oh my gosh, just for an individual basis, an additional $30 just for 2 more sets of online game sets and just 1 DLC for a game that I might not own? Is this going to be worth it? A lot of Nintendo fans and just gamers in general have been really ripping into Nintendo lately because of this, and they just feel like this is a ripoff. And I personally feel like this is a ripoff too, and I haven't even bought it myself personally, but I've looked into a bunch of stuff before I put my money into this. Let me first get out of the way, the pros and the cons of all this. For the Nintendo Switch Online users that do own a copy of the game, they do say that the DLC is pretty solid, so if you are a big Animal Crossing fan, especially the new game on the Switch, then this can definitely be up your alley, and that could work in your favor. I hear that the Sega Genesis Online Nintendo Switch service is also pretty good, and there's not really any issues there. The main problem that Nintendo has been marketing with the whole expansion pack is the N64 online library service that they have, and there's a lot of problems with this, and this is what most of the people who got this expansion pack wanted. They didn't really care for the Animal Crossing DLC or the Sega Genesis library. The N64 library is what was really being pushed, and Nintendo just did not perform well when it came to it. Let's get on to the first reason as to why it failed. First reason is there's only about 10 games that they offered, and a lot of these games are games that have been re-released like multiple times already. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have been released. I feel like they should have. They have Zelda Ocarina of Time, Mario Tennis, but there's just way too little to offer. The N64 has a very big library that I feel like Nintendo really needs to try to push out more, that they've just been neglecting for years or decades on end already, and they've never re-released them. Now, I understand that Nintendo has lost the copyright over the decades with some of these N64 games or GameCube games to where they can't re-release them because they lost the licensing, and they'll have to repurchase it, which can cost a lot of money. But at the same time, though, I'm just saying, Nintendo, you guys have re-released Ocarina of Time like 20 times since its original release back in like 98, 99. Same with Mario 64. Like, maybe throw in a few of the Mario parties, maybe throw in Paper Mario. The next issue that we have with this is that some of these games, like Mario Kart 64 on here, do have online multiplayer, which essentially you just play the usual ROM hack and everything, and then you connect it with multiple players online. But the problem with it, though, is that there is so much lag when you try to play it online. It can slow down. Let me show you this video right here, guys, of an example of what I'm talking about. That is really bad, and it's almost impossible to play. It's very unplayable. It reminds me a lot about Super Smash Bros. Brawl back in 2006 when you would play it online on the Wii online service, which was really bad and laggy and just ruins the experience altogether. The other issue is that when it comes specifically to Ocarina of Time and a few other games, just in terms of like emulating them through their ROMs that they use, it just does not come out well. And in some ways, if you see like side-by-side comparisons with other releases of Ocarina of Time and Mario 64 throughout the years, the Wii Virtual Console release of Ocarina of Time is actually a higher quality version than the Nintendo Switch Online release of the game. And the Wii Virtual Console release of the game was from 15 years ago, but it's better, and it's like, what's wrong with you, Nintendo? I seriously do not know why Nintendo cannot get re-releases or remakes down that well. Unless it's like a flat-out, like, full-on remake game. They do a really good job with that. Remaking Ocarina of Time for the 3DS, Majora's Mask for the 3DS, they do a great job with that. But when it comes to just, re-releasing a bunch of games in, like, the original formats, just in a ROM'd emulated version on, like, a Switch cartridge or so, they just can't get it down. We already saw with Mario 3D All-Stars that they can't do that, right? And heck, probably the best example that they've ever had of being able to like release like a bunch of old games together in a combo is actually, I have it right up here on my shelf, the Zelda Collector's Edition for the Nintendo GameCube that had Zelda 1, 2, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, all in the GameCube. It wasn't perfect, but it was really solid, and it was one of the best, re-releases they've ever done of packs of Zelda games before, all on one disc. It even had a Wind Waker demo that you could play like 3 different types of demos for the game, and it all just fit in that one disc, and it was pretty solid. There were like virtually no issues. The other main issue that we see with the Nintendo Switch Online service is that a lot of people have been noting, and there's some videos online that were shown through Twitter, that they have like a really bad lag issue as well. I'll show you guys a video in just a second where there's like a whole 1 second or like at least half a second delay with button input for Ocarina of Time. Now, I don't know if on the video exactly if the TV just wasn't set to game mode or not, but still, that can really hurt the experience as well with like lag and everything, especially if you're doing it through an online service. So overall, I just think that this was a very bad move on Nintendo. They were hyping this up quite a bit, and they were really pushing the whole, oh, you can play Nintendo 64 games online through our service and everything. It's going to be great. Well, there's a few problems. You only had 10 games, and like 7 out of 10 of them were games that have been re-released hundreds of times already that people were used to. Get some new games in there, Nintendo. The emulation was garbage, the online capability and multiplayer was also garbage, and there's a lot of lag issues. So really, Nintendo, you really need to be stepping up your game, because if you look at the original post video that they made on their YouTube channel for it, it's their most disliked video ever with like over 200,000 dislikes. Like seriously, Nintendo, people are really doubting your credibility, and especially if you're going to be charging an additional $30, and even for family memberships, $40 for this crap, people aren't going to buy it. Like, I know that they always, basically, because they're Nintendo, it always sells like hotcakes for everything, but people are eventually going to give up on you, Nintendo. You have to get your stuff together when it comes to this. Nintendo is the biggest company in Japan, and they have money, and they have the resources and the brains and the creative minds to produce great content. They make great games, but when it comes to just having an online service and just redistributing their games, it's horrible. They want to kill emulation, but at the same time, they don't want to make those games accessible, the old games that people are emulating. The clock is ticking for you, Nintendo, and people are getting fed up. So you got to really get your game on this, Nintendo, or you're going to end up losing a lot of your subscription services. On the bright side, Nintendo did address the issue about a week and a half ago as of the making this video, about 1 week into the service being launched with the expansion pack. And they did say that they are going to try to retune and maybe change the pricing or fix some of the issues with the service. I think that it would probably be better for them to fix the service and maybe drop the price range a little bit by like 15 at most. So instead of paying like 20 a year, I'd probably pay like 35 for an individual membership and maybe make it 60 a year for like up to 8 people. But still, Nintendo, fix this soon, or it's going to piss off a lot of people and you might end up losing people for your service and you'll start losing money. Anyways, guys, how do you feel about the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack? Do you guys think it's great? Do you guys think it's garbage like I do? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Do you guys plan to get the online service for the Nintendo Switch, or do you plan to own a Nintendo Switch at any point if you don't own one? Let me know down in the comment section down below. If you enjoy our content and want to further help out our channel, please consider donating to the Patreon as well as our coffee. Remember to smash the like button, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe all together. Make sure to check out our 2 gaming channels known as SeetherCord Games and Seether Chills. All that will be linked down in the description down below. Again, guys, thank you all so much for watching this video. I've been SeetherCord, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everyone. Wait for the count and then choose a bubble shape. Sounds intense. SpongeBob's face is kind of weird. Did you see that?
Why does it look like that?
I don't know. That's what she said.
Everything is what she said.